I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast. And every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere.
This is the iPhone SE 2020. It's currently the cheapest phone you could get on Apple's website right now, and it's also the follow-up to the original iPhone SE that was released back in 2016. You could get this phone for $399, or even cheaper if you're on some kind of data plan with some carrier in the US or something. The price of this phone is $399, which is 1/3 of that of the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I actually made a comparison video between the iPhone SE and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below if you're interested in that. So, this is a review of the iPhone SE 2020. In this video, we're going to be talking about the design, we're going to be talking about the display, the speaker, the Touch ID, the camera, and every other features that comes with it. And we're also going to be answering some questions like, why does this phone exist? Why did Apple make this phone? Is it worth it? Or you just better off getting another budget phone like the Samsung A series, like the Samsung A51, A71, A31, and just basically the A series. In my last video, I actually unboxed the Samsung Galaxy A01. I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you can check it out after this video. And I'm also going to be comparing the iPhone SE 2020 to the Samsung Galaxy A01. Even though the price of the Samsung Galaxy A01 is 1/3 of the price of the iPhone SE 2020. Anyways, I'm just going to say right off the bat, if you're currently using the iPhone 11 lineup, there is absolutely no need to get the iPhone SE 2020 because it's going to be a very big downgrade. Unless you're trying to make it your second phone, or you're planning to sell your iPhone 11 Pro Max to get this one so you could get some extra cash, then you could think of getting the iPhone SE 2020. And also for those of you guys that are using the iPhone X and the iPhone XS, obviously there's no need to get this one because it's also a downgrade. But for people who are using the iPhone 8, iPhone 7, 6 and below, then you can start to think of getting the iPhone SE 2020. But it all comes down to your choice. So out of the box, my first impression of this phone was like, this phone is actually very small. It's been a while since I used a small phone, so using this phone for a week or so kind of felt a little bit weird. But let's talk about the design and the build quality. The phone itself, like I said, is actually very small. The display itself is a 4.7-inch display, IP67 dust and water resistant. It has a glass back for wireless charging, a single camera system, and everything else is pretty much the same with the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 7. A new updated Touch ID. The speaker and the earpiece are still at the bottom, and you will still get the Lightning charging port. I don't know when Apple is going to bring USB-C to the iPhone lineup, but I hope by the iPhone 12, Apple is going to introduce USB-C. And everything else is pretty much the same, and that's about it for the build and design. The iPhone SE comes in 3 colors. It comes in red, black and white. The display on the iPhone SE is actually an LCD display with IPS technology. It's actually one of the best displays I've seen on the smartphone at this price point, even though it's a 720p display. And also one other thing I noticed that it doesn't have tap to wake. I tried to check if there was a settings I'm going to use to activate it, but I didn't find anything. So that's a big downside for me for the iPhone SE's display. So let's talk about the performance of the iPhone SE 2020. With the A13 Bionic chip inside it, which is the same chips that come with the iPhone 11 Pro Max, iOS 13 and the RAM, it makes this phone run like a beast. Like, this phone is like a Toyota with a Lamborghini engine. No offense to Toyota users, but this phone is actually a beast when it comes to performance. It's very fast. It doesn't have 120Hz display, but the phone is actually very responsive. I could say that this is one of the best budget phones you can get in the market right now, because the performance on this phone is going to last for a very long time. Plus, you're going to get future iOS updates, so that secures the performance for the next 5 to 6 years. Now, let's talk about the battery life on this phone. I wouldn't say it's great, but remember, this phone is thin and light. There's no way Apple is going to squeeze a lot of battery into this thing, unless they make the phone thicker, of course. The battery size on the iPhone SE 2020 is probably less than 2000 mAh hours, but I'm gonna say it lasts me for most part of the day, so it's not completely terrible. Now let's talk about the camera system on the iPhone SE. Apple didn't really specify if the camera system is the same thing as the iPhone 8, XR or the iPhone 11. But we know it's a single lens camera system. It's actually a very good camera if you give it enough light. Like, with enough light, you can compare the pictures taken on the iPhone SE to that of the iPhone 11 Pro Max. But when you don't give it enough light, that's when pictures start to get grainy because it doesn't have night mode. I was actually expecting night mode to be like a standard on the new iPhone series, but Apple said my $399 is not enough to get that feature. But funny enough, the Google Pixel 3a, which is $50 less than the iPhone SE, with the same camera system, not the same, but the same single lens camera system, has night mode, but I digress. Overall, the camera system on the iPhone SE is actually above average, around the 70% mark. Selfies on the iPhone SE are actually good. And as for video, 4K video on the iPhone SE is actually one of the best you can get on a smartphone at this price point. The speakers on the iPhone SE are pretty much average. It's not really a big deal for me because I know most people nowadays either have headphones or earpiece or AirPods or whatever, so I'm not gonna complain too much about the speakers, but just know that the speaker doesn't really sound that good. And I think that's about it for the iPhone SE 2020. So why did Apple release the iPhone SE 2020? In my opinion, I don't feel like Apple made this phone for people who are already in the ecosystem. I feel like Apple made this phone to bring more people into the ecosystem. And that's one of the reasons why the price is $399. Because if you think of it, how many people are going to be upgrading from the 6, 7, 8 to this? Because I get it, it has the A13 Bionic chip and whatever, but I don't feel like that's enough reason for people to upgrade to this. If I was to make that decision and I'm using the iPhone 6, 7 or 8, I'd rather save up more money to get the iPhone XR, because you could get the iPhone XR for I think $449 or $549, but the price difference between this and the iPhone XR, I don't think it's up to $200. I don't think it's up to $100. You could get the iPhone XR, which has a bigger display, a bigger battery, just everything better than the iPhone SE. I get it, some people like the Touch ID or whatever, so if anyone upgrades from the 6, 7 or 8 to this just to keep the Touch ID but a faster processing power, that makes sense. But if I was to make that decision, I'd rather go for the iPhone XR. So the iPhone SE nails all the fundamentals you need on a smartphone. A nice display, the brightness could be better, the camera is just right, the speaker average for most people, the design is the best for the price range. The price. In my opinion, I feel like the price for the iPhone SE is actually worth it. It's actually worth the $399 price. But that's my opinion. I would love to hear your opinion in the comment section below. Another question that keeps coming to my mind is that if this phone was an Android device, let's just say there is no Apple logo and the spec is all the same, will this phone get people attention? In my opinion, I feel like it's not gonna get as much attention as the iPhone SE right now, because everyone knows that Apple gets away with a lot of stuff. Like, even some people knows Apple to be like a company that loves to overprice their products. So I feel like if this phone was an Android device, it will need something very special. Maybe a high refresh rate, or not even adding any features. Let's just say decreasing the price from $399 to $199 or something. Then that is gonna get people's attention if it was an Android device. Just look at phones like the Poco phone. It didn't really get people's attention just because of the spec and whatever. It got people's attention because of the spec to the price ratio. Because I remember the time it came out, it has a lot of flagship features, but the price was crazy low and it got people's attention. So I feel like the only reason why this phone is going to sell if it was an Android device is if the price is like $199 or $200. Because if this phone was an Android device, I probably won't get it. So anyways guys, if you found this video informative, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified every single time I drop a new video. I upload at least twice a week, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.